Greetings everyone, my name is Atterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 5 Veersmith levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 4 or 5 more Veersmith levels, starting up with this one, Wily's Rock Quarry by Tylerbot, with 27 plays and a score 2. I played the original version of this stage all the way back in episode 150. This is the third/final version of this stage, so let's see how it's been improved. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts. So if you want to check if your level is covered, expand the description. I'll be going to the stage as Protoman for an extra bit of challenge. So far, the introduction of all these gimmicks and enemies has been pretty good. The gimmicks being the coil and ring platforms, and the enemies being essentially all the Gabioles, the Thunderals, as well as the Wall Blasters. I just wanted to play it safe there. Checkpoint density in this stage is on the more generous side though. And I do want to go for that M-Tank. And I lose access to the Protobuster too, so I need to rely on only the Super Arrow. That was much easier than I expected it to be. No spikes there whatsoever. Protoman does take double damage here, so you gotta be careful. I need to time my falling correctly. That was a near dead over there. The hardest part are all these Gabioles though. If I went to this stage as regular Mega Man, this would be a lot easier, as I wouldn't take double damage. The scariest enemies are of course the Bombtrons, as they deal a truckload of damage to Protoman upon hit. I'm resetting every one of these checkpoints as I want to be back at full health. and I'm gonna conserve the M-Tank until the end. But hey, essentially your initial character selection is a difficulty selection. See what I mean with the insane damage? Half my life bar was taken out by that one bomb, or rather rock. And another issue with jump inputs not registering, I was mashing the jump button over there. Oh well, at least the checkpoint was only a few screens away. Makes sense as this stage is on the harder side. But we're at the end now. Out of all three versions, I say this is the best one. It had the best difficulty curve, introduction, escalation, recombination of gimmicks, and the difficulty didn't really spike anywhere, though certainly I'd say it's one of the harder versions out of them all. Probably version 1 was the hardest one. I'm just gonna use an M-Tank here. As I said earlier, your character selection is essentially your difficulty selection. Normal mode through the stage is Mega Man, hard mode version of the stage is as Protoman. Otherwise, I liked it. It was an above par level. Second level on the lineup is Wildman by Buster, with 46 plays and a score of 13. I expect a lot of walls and barriers in this level. And from the looks of it, we'll have a lot of weapon blocks and jump blocks. So get your button mashing fingers ready. At least we have access to charge shots. Otherwise, more button mashing would be required. At least they're going one at a time. In fact, that was a lot slower than what I expected it to be. It was somewhat leisurely. The timers for the force beams were probably text edited. A suitable place to put a hot dog, combined with a totem pole in. Will I make it? I'm just damage boosting here, I can't wait. That was tighter than last time. the next force beam segment, or gauntlet, as they're always telegraphed with the addition of all these blocks. Not good. I think I'm dead. No, that was actually rather generous. I thought that because I fumbled there, I was going to die, but no, I didn't. And that's it. After 3 force beam gauntlets, we fight off against Bubble Man. And we can't jump, otherwise it'll respawn all these totem points. Let's try this again. I'll need to rely on charge shots more, and damage boosting probably. In retrospect, damage boosting isn't that difficult here, so although this requires a lot of button mashing, it wasn't that bad. Third level on the lineup is Escape Plan Level Hard by Shaun Williams, with 11 plays and a score of 2. Due to the difficulty of this stage, I will be mostly silent, giving my final thoughts near the end. Well, I guess it's time to use the power adapter. This was of course another difficult stage. This stage did have a few troll maneuvers, as if you wanted to collect all the E-tanks, you were forced to die in a few points. But you don't need all these E-tanks. The only part of the stage where you really need it is near the end and during this boss encounter. But if you're skilled enough, you can do this boss encounter without the use of any E-tanks. Fourth level on the lineup is Protoman Adventures Wily Lab Stage 1 Discovering the Truth by Vasco, with 27 plays and a score of 2. Due to how short these levels are, I'll probably be covering at least 2 more levels by Vasco following this one. Thankfully I have access to special weapons to make this easier. No, I just go straight down here. For a moment there, I thought it was a surprise drop or something. Thank goodness I have NATO here to save myself. I feel a bit jittery after completing the previous level, which was okay. And that's it, no boss battle at the end. That felt a bit anticlimactic. I thought this was building up to a boss encounter. Next up is Wily Lab Stage 2 Dr. Wily's Secret. 13 plays and a score of 5. And we start out in the machine works, and suddenly we don't have a fortress team. Another instance of why I wished in the options menu there was an option to disable the temporary pause upon picking up a pickup, as it can eat up one of your inputs and result in a death. And now we have a checkpoint in the middle of the level. That didn't happen in the previous stage, strangely enough. Once I made the jump there, I knew I was not going to make it. I will say that compared to Vasco's previous stages, these feel a lot more enjoyable, and a lot more coherent and better designed. They don't feel as much as random block and enemy placements. Is that an alternate pathway? Let me double check. No, it isn't. Seems like this stage's gimmicks are all sorts of bombs. I spy something to the right. Why put a life respawner at the end if there's no boss encounter? There's no need to. There are no enemies here after all. So far, all these stages could have done if they actually built up to a boss battle at the end. Perhaps Bomb Man? Here's Wily Lab Stage 3, Dr. Wily's Trap Cave. I'll probably cover the 4th and 5th level in this episode as they're going by pretty fast. The only problem with the NATO, if you get hit by a projectile, you won't be able to make it. And I forgot to bonk my head against the ceiling there. I thought it was lower. Let's try this again. Tanks roll the tanks here. I suppose this is building up to the climax? Not yet. One last room. The hardest part of this mini-boss battle was this wall blaster. Thank you, RNG. And that was it. At least there was a battalion of enemies guarding this place. Still, it would have been better if there was a boss battle at the end. Wily Lab and Spaceship 4, Demolition of Wily. 12 plays and a score of 2. So I suppose this is the end. I do like how we start the next stage at the ending of the previous level, or at least near it. Here's the boss, Topman. And I'm forced to use a rolling cutter here. See, I like this setup here, but the wall blasters are destroyable and this is rather straightforward and easy. I would have liked this better if this was actually the first fortress boss or something. Otherwise, I'd say that this selection of levels or series of levels is superior to any of your previous levels, Vasco, so you are improving over time. Alright, one more. Why not? These are short enough. 22 plays and a score of 5. Wily Lab 5, taking place after the destruction of this spaceship. After this, I'll move on to the next level by a different level designer. I really want to start covering levels submitted to the Nature's Rat level design challenge. There are at least 20 of them, not to mention the Retro Redux challenge is going on at the time of this recording, not to mention the Troll level design challenge from Let Me Level With You. The next fortress boss, essentially. A bit more challenging than before, but only a little. The wall bastards aren't even firing at us. Now, if there were force beam generators down over here, green or yellow, forcing me to move around the place, this would be a lot more challenging and fun. 9th level on the lineup is Mega Man Woke Up in a Cave to Sky Lagoon by Croby, with 22 plays and a score of 7. Sky Lagoon was the name of the first stage in Mega Man X4, and the next level Croby submitted to me is Sky Lagoon itself. Thanks for the freebies. I guess I go down over here? Guess not. I guess I go straight down from there then? I see nowhere else to go. Yep, that's it. That wasn't really made clear there. Whoa, that was a close one there. At least there was a Sparkman platform below. I'm using my tank right now. Croby's levels aren't that difficult usually. And now we're in Sky Lagoon itself. At least it looks like we're in Sky Lagoon or near it. Well, picking up the small life energy ate my jump input, so I fell into a pit. Once again, in a future update, I hope there's an option to disable that short pause. Let's try doing this the right way this time. I'm just too afraid of falling to a pit. You know, I expected this stage to end earlier, but it went by for twice as long. We first had the cave segment, and then we had the pre-Sky Lagoon segment. All the weapons I have access to in this stage are pretty powerful, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's a needle cannon. Which makes it a cinch. The 10th and final level of the part is Speed by CODIJOYN, with 12 plays and a score of 0. This is probably going to be a more challenging stage. Next re-tank, I'll take it, thank you very much. And no enemies or force beams whatsoever. This is starting out rather easy. Nothing too challenging, no spikes either. Compared with Aeroman, I was expecting something a lot more punishing. Here is our first bombless pit on the main path, the non-optional path. more bottomless pits. Gradually getting tougher. Compared with Aeroman and Aeroman Extreme, this has a much better difficulty curve. Is this it? Nope, just a checkpoint. Although this stage feels a bit bland, it's still on the fun side. The hardest part of the stage is this boss battle though, because it's Ringman. That was very straightforward. In fact, this boss battle taking place on this giant conveyor belt made this much easier. So overall, out of the 10 levels that I covered in this episode, my favorite level would definitely be Wily's Rock Quarry version 3 by Tylerbot, with an honorable mention going to Wallman by Buster. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more Veersmith levels. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!